Katrina Hill from ActionFlickChick.com, and you are watching FilmSnobbery Live.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FilmSnobbery Live. I am your host, Nick Baisley. I have an excellent show for you this evening. We're bringing to you a very special guest, Mr. Tze Chun, director of Children of Invention. His DVD of his movie, Sundance Selection movie, is actually out today. So you guys are going to make sure we're going to talk to him a little bit about that. We're going to talk to him a little bit about his experiences at Sundance and just overall, experiences making the movie, distributing the movie, the whole 9 yards. My co-host tonight is a cricket here in the garage, as well as Mr. Cavallero, who him and I are going to have a discussion later on in the show. We're going to reflect upon how failing in your film, whether it be an aspect of making your film or funding your film or anything, can actually be a positive. And we're going to cite specific examples from different sources, and by cite, I don't mean like textbook. It's just going to be like, I heard this one thing. So we're going to talk about that the second half of the show. I want to get everyone here familiar, though, with our guest this evening and his work. So we're going to show you the trailer for Children of Invention, and we're going to show that to you right now. When we come back, Mr. Tze Chun. So stick around.
1 year ago, I was just like you, working 2 jobs, trying to make ends meet. And I looked at dozens of network marketing companies. And I found only one that could provide my family with the security it so deserves.
They foreclosed on the house. Why? Why do you think?
Mom, where's the police here?
They're making sure no one takes our things.
Keep the shades drawn at night. This apartment isn't zoned for living yet.
How long do you have to stay here?
Just for a little while. How long does it take to make money? Most people get checks their first week.
Hi, sir. Coffee or fire? Some extra money.
I know it seems like a lot of money, but you have to spend money to make it sometimes.
I'm at the hotel. Bye, you guys.
Where are you going?
I have to go now.
No, just
go now.
She's running! She's running!
Raymond, wake up. Raymond, wake up. Where's Mom?
Mom might not come back for a while, so we have to take care of ourselves now. Grandma gave us some money. We have to go to Boston again.
Mom's gone. She's not gone. Stop saying that. She is gone. I don't believe it that there's $1 million, and I don't believe it that Mom's gone.
Hi, everyone. That was the trailer for Children of Invention. We have a very special guest, the director of Children of Invention on tonight, Mr. Tze Chun. And I want to, before we have him on real quick, I just want to send a quick shout out and thank you to Minette. I want to say her last name is pronounced Louis. I could be completely wrong. But anyway, I met her at the Conversation, and I think I saw her again at DIY Days in New York City earlier this year, and she suggested, I approached her and I was like, you're Children of Invention. And she goes, well, not me, but he is. You should have him on. And I said, okay, I would love to do that. So that being said, here he is, Mr. Tze Chun. How you doing?
Guys.
Hey, it's good to see, you're the second kind of Massachusetts Bostonian masshole, if you will, we've had on since we've been back. It's really good to have you on the show. I'm actually a big fan of the movie.
And straight to my masshole roots, I'm Skyping while driving.
That is Skyping, texting, and flipping through your iPod. Thank you for coming on the show. I really do greatly appreciate it. And one of the things, I want to get us started off real quick. I want to ask you, where did the idea for Children of Invention come from? Especially, where did you decide to set it in Massachusetts, specifically like the Boston area, because you're from here, or was that like a conscious decision to film in this area, or was it a what? Take me through the process.
Well, the film is I guess, semi-autobiographical, and that's where the story kind of came from. A lot of it is fabricated, but I did spend a lot of my youth going to pyramid scheme seminars with my mom and my little sister. And we had a very close-knit family, and I grew up in Randolph, South Shore, right outside of Boston. And when it came to writing the script, I felt that, there's so many movies that take place in New York and LA, and I felt that it would be nice to just set a movie in Boston.
And what did you have, maybe I should learn how to speak. Did you have any difficulty filming in Boston?
Well, one of the things that was difficult is that a lot of our crew, because I came to New York for college and I stayed here, and a lot of my film contacts are in New York, so we did end up shooting more than half of the film in New York. A lot of the interiors are in New York and the greater New York area, like New Jersey, Brooklyn, Queens. I think, God bless my producer, Manette Louis, we shot in pretty much every borough. And then we came to Boston for the establishing shots and the exteriors and a lot of the stuff in Downtown Crossing.
Did you have to go through the Boston or the Massachusetts Film Commission to get permits for any of that, or was it kind of...
We did. We went through all the proper channels, and it was really great. They give you a police officer. Well, I guess you have to pay for the police officer, but shooting late at night in Downtown Crossing, every once in a while it does get a little dicey.
It's very interesting that you were able to work with them. I can't even get them on the phone. No, but was there an application process, or did you just kind of call them or approach them and say, we want to shoot, tell us what we need to do to make that happen?
Yeah, I think my producer handled a lot of that, but we did it we went through the New York office, and then we went through the Massachusetts film office.
Okay, and the experience overall good?
Yeah, overall good. I find that when you have people running around, it's in the city, it's such a load off your mind to know that no one's going to come and kick you off the street or to confiscate your equipment or to tell you can't be there. So it kind of legitimizes the project, and it's much calmer to be shooting, and you can always point people towards the police officer. As far
as legitimizing your project, did you, when you found your cast, were these SAG actors? I mean, maybe not the kids, but maybe they could have been. Who knows? Were these SAG actors, or did you look for kind of, what was your casting process like?
We were both a WGA signatory and a SAG signatory, and so we went through both guilds for our production.
All right, and so you filmed the movie and you got all the stuff, got it all together, and then you submitted. It was time to submit to festivals. Now, you obviously, everyone here knows that you were an official Sundance selection in 2009. You were there. What was the process for both applying and getting accepted to Sundance for you? Like, what was your experience with that? And was that one of the first places that you applied to, or did you apply to a bunch of top tier festivals, and that just happened to be one that got in?
Well, I guess the answer to that starts maybe a little earlier. I had a short film that got into Sundance in 2007. That's called Window Breaker, and that's basically a short version of Children of Invention. It's available on YouTube, and it's available on our deluxe DVD that's on sale right now. But basically, we kind of knew that for a film like this, the ideal place to premiere would be Sundance, because it is an American film, deals with American issues, and we wanted to premiere it basically at the largest American festival that we could. I wrote the script in November of 2008, and I finished it in March of 2009, and I think that the goal was to figure out a time that we could shoot the movie, working backwards from the Sundance submission date, and try to get it in under, basically for that year, so we didn't have to wait a whole year and a half before we were able to see if we had gotten in. I think a lot of indie films do this, where they kind of they line up Sundance as their first submission date, and then they apply to festivals throughout the year if Sundance doesn't work out for them.
Now, did you do any research on the festivals that you were applying to? I mean, even including Sundance, looking at some of the entrants from the year before, or maybe even the year before that, to see like, would this film play well at Sundance? Because Sundance is, yes, it's probably the biggest American festival that we have, but the fact of the matter is that it is a film festival. They have programming that is similar to many film festivals, and generally I find a lot of filmmakers tend to not, they submit to Sundance just because it's Sundance versus looking at it from just being a film festival and looking at the type of the genres of movies that make it, and looking at the different tones of the movies and stuff like that of that particular year or the year before. Did you do any research when you were considering applying and going like, well, this played last year, my movie Children of Invention is very similar to this movie, this would probably play well here and it has a better chance of getting accepted?
I mean, I think for us it was more about Sundance as a market, just because we did believe that it was we were coming into a very difficult year for film sales, but we still felt that Sundance was probably the biggest market in the U.S. and probably the strongest place for a film of this size, which is obviously very small, to get some kind of notice. But I think that you're totally correct that a lot of these film festivals have such different personalities, from Tribeca, South by Southwest, Sundance. And the international, and that's not even looking at the international festivals, but it is helpful to, I think, look at the festivals before you apply and to see whether or not, a movie that might be perfect for South by Southwest might not be right for Sundance, and vice versa. A movie that might be great for Tribeca might not be great for Sundance, and vice versa. Now, so you can kind of save yourself the entry fee a lot of the time.
Now, that being said, does having the official selection of Sundance laurels on your DVD cover or in your press kit or release, did that help you land other film festivals? And actually, do you find it amusing that you were, or I don't even know if you were ever rejected from a festival, but if you were rejected from a festival, do you find it amusing that Sundance would take you but somewhere else wouldn't?
Yeah, I mean, with my short film, it was really, it was super frustrating. With Window Breaker, I think I got about 25 rejections. I got into about 6 festivals, and then after that we got into Sundance, and a lot of the festivals that rejected us the year before accepted us the year after.
Okay.
And I think that, part of it's that if you have a film, short or feature, that plays in a major festival, meaning, LA Film Festival, South by Southwest, Tribeca, and Sundance, other festivals do go to those festivals. Programmers from those other festivals, regional festivals, will go to the major festivals and scout out films, shorts or features, and then you can actually save a lot of your money. That's why I always say that for either shorts or features, to apply to the bigger festivals first, because if you're able to get into one of those, a lot of times other festivals will waive the submission fee, or they'll accept you without you having to apply, and you can end up saving a lot of money. For Children of Invention, we applied to 100 festivals. We played, I think now 45 or 46, and I think we only paid the submission fee for about 3 or 4 of those.
And that's really kind of, I'm sure that's amusing to a lot of the struggling filmmakers that are out there, that they're paying thousands of dollars and sometimes even tens of thousands of dollars to get into, but I mean, I guess you kind of paid your dues with Window Breaker, which I actually want to point out that you can actually see Window Breaker on the DVD of Children of Invention, which is available today. So you're welcome. See, nice little plug. And if you want to learn a little bit more about Children of Invention, little aside, you can go to www.childrenofinvention.com. And according to the rules of the Vocabularist FilmSnobbery drinking game, plugging a website equals a drink. So hopefully you guys are following along, because it's been an interesting show so far. So that being said. All right, so you got into Sundance, and did you find that the response at Sundance, take me through what happened at Sundance. Your movie plays there. Were you automatically just approached by a bunch of people who wanted to distribute your movie? Did you find that the deals came later? Did you, how was the audience reaction to the movie? I mean, take me through what happened at Sundance for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that there are kind of two sides to Sundance. There's the festival and audience side, and then there's the business side. And the two, people try to keep them separate, but everybody's kind of in the same place. So on the festival side, we were really happy because we had a good number of screenings, and what's nice about Sundance is that the screenings are pretty much all sold out, unless you're after the opening, after the closing night or whatever. Mm-hmm. So the audience reaction was great, and it was really, in some ways, it was the first time we'd seen the movie with an audience before. We've now seen the movie with audiences, almost too many times at this point afterwards. But at the time, it was very exciting. It's really exhilarating. On the business side, we had gone in with very realistic expectations. We had brought on a sales agent and a publicist, but we kind of knew that we would wanted to use Sundance as a launching off point rather than a be-all, end-all. So we knew that because we were one of the smaller films at the festival, that we would be probably more of a slow burn, meaning that sales offers, distribution offers, and press, just general press, might come later on our festival run.
Now, I have two quick questions for you. The first one is, you mentioned the business of filmmaking a couple of times, and I really appreciate that. Are you the business person, or did you have to have someone else fill that role for you, or were you more of an overseer of stuff? And the kind of follow-up question to that is, and really has nothing to do with it, what was your backup plan if you did not get into Sundance?
I guess the first question, am I the business person? I have a great partner in crime here, who's Minette Louie, who is our lead producer on Children of Invention, and she has stayed with the project from the time that she got the script through today. And in terms of publicizing the film, in terms of getting contracts and looking at offers, in terms of redlining contracts, promotion, everything, she's really been the other person on this team. I think it's necessary. I think it's necessary to have other people to help you along this process. I think that filmmakers, there are filmmakers who don't really like business, the business side of things, don't like the promotion side of things, and more power to them. I find it interesting, and I like, because a lot of promotion is, I think a promotion is just interacting with your audience, whether they be, an audience that you have in front of you at a screening, or a potential audience that you're reaching through other means, and I enjoy that part of it. I know that a lot of filmmakers don't, but I enjoy that, and I like the fundraising. I even like the fundraising part of things.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead. I do have a follow-up question to the whole fundraising thing, though, but you go ahead and finish what you were going to say.
Just my second, our backup plan after Sundance was to try for, one of the 10 fantastic festivals. There's many good festivals that are good launching off points for your movie, and, we would have tried to get into one of those as a backup. Okay.
And one of the things I just want to quickly mention to everyone here in the audience, if they haven't already, if you haven't already gone and checked into FilmSnobbery Live tonight via your Miso app on your iPhone or via their website, www.gomiso.com, we got to go do that right now. So everyone, I'm going to take 1 second while I have, I'm going to keep Mr. Z here waiting, and I'm going to check into FilmSnobbery Live right now, because I want to make sure that we get that out of the way so that everyone, there we go, FilmSnobbery Live, hosted by Nick Baisley. He's a handsome devil, isn't he? All right, and we are now checked in. And actually, I'm actually like the fourth person to check in. There's a bunch of people already checked in. I'm very happy about that. Actually, no, these are from 6 days ago. But anyways, so you mentioned that you were really very involved in the fundraising aspect, and that you really enjoyed the fundraising aspect for Children of Invention. What was your fundraising model?
I guess our fundraising model was, I had taken a different project to a film market called IFP, No Borders, in New York, and it's part of it's a film market and it has a couple different components. There's a documentary side and there's a narrative side. And speaking of, I know that later on you're going to talk about projects that sometimes it's good if a project doesn't go forward. This project that I was bringing to these film markets was much more ambitious. I mean, it's just a larger scale project, and I'm really glad that it didn't happen first because I'm glad that I was able to do a more modestly scaled film as my first film. Anyways, I met a lot of people during that process, and I reached out to one of them when the script for Children of Invention was done, and I gave him basically, this is Dan Kogan, who runs Impact Partners, which is a consortium of investors who mainly do documentaries, and this is their first narrative. And so I reached out to him and sent him the script, and he was interested, and then I sent it to another film fund that I had come into contact with through a friend from college called Sasquatch Films, and they basically just split the cost of the film.
Their tagline, "Watch the Squatch"?
It's I guess it's a swim team nickname of the guy who started the film fund.
So many things come to mind for that I could say, but I'm going to let it go. So, all right. Now, as far as your distribution strategy, let's say that let's say the Children of Invention wasn't picked up by any distributor, at either Sundance or any subsequent festival. Did you have a backup plan for how you were going to release Children of Invention after the fact? Yeah, and actually that's pretty much what happened. We ended up actually turning down nine distribution offers. Why was that, just out of curiosity? Because I know a lot of filmmakers do that, but I think a lot of people don't understand the reasons for that. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of reasons why you would turn down a distribution offer. I mean, one of the first ones is simply financial, that you don't believe that the terms of the deal are good, meaning that, let's say they want to distribute your DVD, but they want to take 80% of each sale and give you, 20%. A lot of them have, there's also times where you feel that you're better at promoting the film than a distributor would be. Basically, as we left Sundance, we started getting very slowly, we started getting distribution offers. And they started off pretty bad, and as we did more of the work, meaning as we brought the film to more festivals, as we got more press, as we, did our theatrical ourselves, we started getting better and better distribution offers. But by that time, we'd pretty much done all the work. And so we partnered with a couple great companies to release the DVD. We did partner with Film Movement to release the film on VOD. We partnered with Indie Blitz and E1 to release our film on DVD and on, download to own on the internet. But we did turn down numerous, I guess, what you would call traditional distribution deals. No, I admire that you did have alternative strategies and that you did seek out other partners. I think that's something that a lot of filmmakers are having to do now, almost as out of need. Did you find that the distributors that approached you were more so looking to add Children of Invention to their library or catalog versus actually trying to sell it? Like, were they trying to increase their cash flow by owning your movie versus actually working to earn you money for your movie?
I mean, I think when you look at a distributor, you look at their track record, and you look at their worst case scenario. And in a lot of the distribution offers, if you look at the contract and the worst case scenario is pretty bad, you don't want to lock up your film with that company for 12 to 15 years, which is what a lot of these contracts ask for. That could mean that the film could be sitting on their shelf for 12 to 15 years, or it could be just kind of tossed out into the world without any kind of promotion.
I understand. So tell us about what is next for you. I mean, are you going to team up with the same kind of crew that you had for Children of Invention to work on something else? Are you going to take a break and just work on promotion for this movie for a while, or what's next for you, sir?
Well, the promotion for Children of Invention, thankfully, is somewhat over. it was about 9 or 10 months after the premiere that we did, a lot of work. But once our theatrical happened, things kind of fell into place, and it was mainly waiting for different windows of, the movie being released. Right now I have 2 new projects. I have a script called You're a Big Girl Now, which is based on my mother's childhood story growing up in Singapore. And that one would be shot in Malaysia. Minette Louie, my producer on Children of Invention, is attached to that. And I'm going to be, I think, reteaming with both Minette and my other producer from Children of Invention on a thriller that takes place on the U.S.-Canadian border. I co-wrote that with Osgood Perkins and Nick Simon, and that would be possibly my next project, or the other one would be my next project.
Okay, and we have a question from the audience. Sherry Candler actually asked, what kind of marketing did any of these companies offer to do in terms of the distributors that were approached you?
I mean, I think a lot of it seemed negligible.
Yeah, I can imagine. And how about, you said you hired a sales agent?
We did.
And a PR person as well?
Mm-hmm.
And did you feel, what was their primary role in relation to your film? Like, what were they doing for you that you weren't able to do or you didn't have time to do?
Well, for publicists, we had a publicist at Sundance and we had a publicist for our theatrical premiere. And I think that both those things are important. As a filmmaker going into the festival, you don't have the press contacts. That's just the case, that you don't have the press contacts to contact the press directly. And to be honest, I don't think the press wants cold emails from filmmakers. So we felt that at that point it was great to have a publicist to try to pitch the story, to pitch the film to different press outlets, and certainly for our theatrical premiere, it was absolutely necessary. We used Emma Griffiths, who was fantastic, for our theatrical, and we used Dave Magdale for our festival.
Excellent.
But Emma got the movie great reviews in the New York Times, LA Times, New York Post, New York Daily News, Village Voice. I mean, she was able to reach out to all these press outlets that we the filmmakers had no contact with.
I noticed how FilmSnobbery was not included in any of those prestigious press outlets. But I understand where they're coming from to a point. I mean, they get it on a much more massive scale than I do. I mean, I get several emails a day from filmmakers looking for me to either review their work, take a look at it, consult, or whatever. And the fact of the matter is that I can imagine that with what I get compared to what, like, say, someone at the Village Voice gets, or the Chicago Sun, or the New York Times, it's got to be unbelievable. And I can understand how having press contacts that already have previous relationships with would kind of bump you a little bit ahead of the game than some of the other people.
Yeah, and for our sales agents, most feature films, I think, have a U.S. sales agent and an international sales agent. So we have both. One selling to foreign territories, one selling to the U.S. North American territories.
Okay. And so we're coming kind of towards the end. Is there anything else that you would like us to plug? I want to, again, tell everyone you can go to www.childrenofinvention.com. You can follow Minette on Twitter. She's at twitter.com/Minette Louie, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. And are you on Twitter as well?
We are. I am. I'm at Invention Film, and you can check out our Facebook group by just typing in Children of Invention. It's the best way to find out news about the movie. And I'll just say again that we are available right now on Amazon. It's the deluxe DVD, which has commentary from all the crew, and includes the short film Window Breaker, includes interviews with the 2 kids who are the stars of the film, and includes deleted scenes, which you can watch and laugh at all the things that we did wrong.
And I will say, I've seen the movie. I enjoy the little kids. The kids are cute and surprisingly well acted for their age. I haven't seen Window Breaker, so I'm looking forward to checking that out at some point. Is that available separately, or can you only get that with the deluxe edition of Children of Invention?
You can get it on the deluxe edition. That's the best quality to get it in, I guess.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I really want to thank you for coming on the show tonight, and
Well, thank you.
it's been a long time coming. I'm glad to have you. Are you going to be back in this area again anytime soon?
I'm always kind of back, you know. My mom still lives in Boston, so I go visit her.
Well, the next time you're up, feel free to look us up, because we'll have to go out and either catch a movie, grab a beer, or whatever it is you like to do.
Awesome. Sounds good, man.
All right, thank you very much for coming on. That's director Tze Chun, director of Children of Invention, everybody, and I highly recommend everyone go out and either buy, rent, VOD, or download, or some other way of legally getting his movie, because it actually is really good. It's got a very really actually, you said it really well right in the beginning. A very American story, and which is surprising given that it's an all, for the most part, all Asian cast, but they're all Americans, and it feels very American. And I'm going to say American one more time. I'm going to even drink for that. That's not even part of the drinking game. I'm drinking for that one. So that being said, we've got a ton more show for everyone. I want to again thank our guest, director Tze Chun, for coming on tonight. We don't go away because we have a lot more to go. First things first, though, we have to pay the proverbial bills, even though we're not really getting paid, but actually we're getting stuff for you. So I want to go ahead and I want to plug our one of our sponsors. Someone that we've been using now for a year, 2 years-ish, and then I pirated the hell out of their software years ago, but they were finally not, and I told them that too, and they're like, we'll just give you a copy. I was like, well, thank you. I want to thank our good friends over at Sony Vegas, and I want to go in and play a little something for them, and when we come back, we're going to talk with Mr. Jerry Cavallero, director of Stuck Like Chuck. We're going to talk to him, and him and I are going to go back and forth a little bit about kind of why failure in a film can be good. So we'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Sony Creative Software's Vegas Pro 9 editing and Blu-ray disc production software allows you to edit standard or high-definition video with ease. Their drag-and-drop functionality, along with their multi-camera editing tools, extensive plugin support, and efficient workflow for 32 and 64-bit systems, gives independent content creators of all types the ability to customize their workspace and take advantage of professional editing tools at a fraction of the cost of Final Cut Pro. For a free demo, visit www.sonycreativesoftware.com and discover for yourself why FilmSnobbery Live has been using Sony Vegas Pro editing software for all their post-production needs. Okay. Hey everyone, guess what? We're back. How about them apples? I'm joined by co-host director Jerry Cavallero, and him and I are gonna talk about a bunch of interesting stuff. Him and I had a conversation earlier today. I already kind of had this topic in mind that we wanted to talk about, which is kind of how failure can be a good thing for your film. Whether it's failure in funding, failure in promoting and distribution, failure in general, and how that can be really good. And Jerry and I were talking about this a little bit earlier today, and we had one of those conversations where we're like, we better stop talking about it now because then we'll have nothing to talk about for the show tonight. So I want to welcome back to the show, in case anyone thought he was gone, Mr. Jerry Cavallero. So, hey Jerry.
Hi Nick, and hi everyone. And I was here last week, despite not being on the show at all, and not even being introduced. But I am here and I'm back.
We had a lot of show last week.
By the way, this is for a vocabularists. Tonight we're going to be talking about indie movie film. Okay, you can continue. That's 3 drinks.
Yeah, well, close enough. I have to talk.
I want to point out the fact, Nick, that
Ryan,
the words movie, film, and indie have been said multiple times, and you have not been drinking.
I've got almost the whole freaking beer gone.
Finish that shit right now. Make up for it. Thank you, Nicholas.
Okay, that being said,
surprisingly, we have not had technical difficulties. Maybe I should not have said that because that's now.
Yeah, and you actually slurred technical difficulties, and I don't know how because you don't drink. That being said,
no, I'm not.
That being said, we want to talk about Jerry a little bit, and if you haven't already checked out his movie Stuck Like Chuck, I actually have the 2-disc checked up edition right here in front of me. And Jerry, how would you feel if we gave one of these away?
That sounds like a great idea.
It's a limited edition, number 7. It's signed by Jerry Cavallero.
Yeah, that schmuck.
From what I hear, it's like a bad movie.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with it. Maybe we shouldn't have put the tagline in quotations because people think it's a quote.
Now, that kind of goes over kind of a little bit of, in a way, segues into kind of some of the stuff we were talking about. You know, as far as, you know, failure. Sometimes you can fail by not having a proper description or tagline or title for your movie. Sometimes you can fail by having shitty lighting in your movie. Sometimes your movie just doesn't get funded. Sometimes, you know, things happen to movies. They don't get into the festival they wanted to. They don't whatever. But good things can come out of all of those situations, Jerry. And you and I were talking a little bit about it earlier. Why don't we start by talking about that? Was it a documentary that, or was it a book or some shit that you were talking about?
It's a documentary and book. It's like the documentary is a supplement to the book. I think the book came out first, or they came out around the same time.
What's it called?
It's Tales from the Script.
Tales from the Script.
Which is pretty much the documentary. Well, the book is really, it's broken up into just different random chapters. I don't have the book with me. I took it out from the library because, you know, indie filmmaker, no money. But it's just, every chapter just has like a basic setup for what that chapter is about. Like it'll be like, this chapter is about structure or whatever. And then it would just have quotes from like 30, 40 different screenwriters about structure. And that's how it's broken down. And the movie is kind of the same way. They have like one quote from one of the screenwriters is like the name of the chapter of the movie, and then it would be like 5 to 6 minutes about like all the different screenwriters talking about the same topic. And then the DVD itself has another 45 minutes of cut footage from that. And it's really interesting. Like, it's just all these screenwriters talking about how they made it into the business or how they failed many times. And it seems like almost every one of them has some story about failure. And the general rule is you don't make it for 10 years. Even if you like sell your film right out of college, you know, 22 years, they had an interview with a screenwriter that was 22 years old. He sold his film right out of college. He made a couple $100,000 from it, and then it took him 10 years before he got his next film off the ground, before he got the next screenplay. And so he considered himself a failure, even though many would say you at least got one credit. So it was a really interesting documentary.
Now, I'm not saying this to throw anything in your face. You had a very public crowdfunding campaign recently, and you were looking for a boatload of money. And when I say a boatload, nothing like ludicrous. You weren't looking for $100,000. You weren't looking for...
We were looking for $30,000. Which we then later cut to $15,000 because we decided to do 2 separate campaigns.
Right.
But
now,
then when one campaign didn't hit that $15,000, we decided to scrap the second campaign.
Now, before everybody in this audience gets the fuck out of here because they're going to think that you're just going to bitch about the failure of your campaign, one of the...
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that.
That's really not what the show here is about. What we actually want to talk about is what happened behind the scenes after that campaign ended, before... Well, I should say after I got Jerry to take the shotgun out of his mouth. But no, Jerry, actually within literally days of this campaign being over, and yes, I'm sure there was the dejectedness that accompanied it, but a lot of good stuff came out of it, and we learned a lot. And Jerry, what did we learn today?
Okay, well, I'll go into that, but first let me just say that I never had the shotgun in my mouth, Nick. I didn't even have bullets in it. I was just messing with it. Now, I don't know, I kind of anticipated getting close to the end that I knew I wasn't going to make it. And that wasn't a lack of confidence, it was just facing reality. I was hoping we can get as much as we could. I just knew we wouldn't make the goal. Unless like a miracle came in at the last few hours or whatever. I kind of was expecting it though, since the campaign sort of fizzled out and then it picked up steam and then it fizzled out again. But after the campaign, I really, like, looking back over it, I learned a lot from it. First of all, I'll talk about what I know you were hinting at, so I'll go right into that first. As soon as the campaign ended, I was contacted by several producers. They were all telling me they really liked the idea for the film. They were sorry that my IndieGoGo campaign didn't get funded and that it didn't reach its goal. And they asked me to send them a formal pitch with a business plan, so that way they may contribute to the film. They may become investors on the film, or they may become a producer on the film. So I've got a ton of offers from that, which leads me to think, and I've talked with Nick about this, and he said that he knows people that do this. Producers checking out failing crowdfunding projects is the new lawyer chasing an ambulance.
Yep. Yeah. I'm not going to name any names, but I actually do know of other crowdfunding people that and other producers, etc. I'm not going to single anyone in particular out, but I know people that that's what they do, not like as their job, but it's part of their overall strategy. Is they will actually look for campaigns that are good. I mean, they're good campaigns, like Jerry's, that just don't seem to be getting the traction with the public, but are marketable. And once that campaign fails, you know, they go after them like, you know, it's a shark sniffing blood. And not necessarily, I don't think in a malicious or bad way, but obviously that's where the opportunity is. I mean, they're getting a filmmaker once, you know, their dreams have been crushed and the gun's in the mouth and the whole 9 yards, and they're able to say, but wait, there's hope. And go from there. And yeah, it's a really interesting concept and I've been seeing it more and more. And Jerry, I mean, it's not like it's not like you were approached by like some guy who just happens to have a boatload of extra cash hanging around. Like, you were approached by people who are known quantities in the industry, and I don't know if at this point we want to name names or anything like that, but let's just...
I'm not going to name names just because I'm still in talks with a lot of people.
Yeah, but let's just say...
It was, like, these are people that have credits in their name, they have a nice track record. In fact, one of the producers I would talk to, I think yesterday, he called me in the morning, and I actually woke up because I was kind of sleeping late night the night before, writing, actually. But just to be clear. But he woke me up, and I was kind of in a daze, and he was just like, hey, I just got the pitch packet you sent me. It's great. I want to talk more about it. And we were talking, and then he goes, just so you know, this is a lot less than what I usually produce. I produce much bigger films than this. But I just see something special in it. I want to talk with you more about it. So then he also requested that I send him a copy of the script, because he was known by the pitch packet, the synopsis and stuff on IndieGoGo. So I'm still in talks with that person. But it was just really interesting that like these people saw something special in it, and like I'm starting to still getting contacted by different producers that are interested.
Now that is just kind of one example of how you can turn that negative into a positive. I mean, there are a lot of other things too. I mean, we've all heard of stories of people. I mean, even our guest tonight, Z, he was like, yeah, we applied to festivals, and yes, we were gunning for Sundance. We got into Sundance, but he's been rejected from stuff. I mean, his first movie, they applied to, 40-something festivals or 20-something festivals, and only got into like 6. And that kind of stuff is commonplace. And there's two big things to really kind of keep in mind. One, you're not the only one that's happening to. I scour IndieGoGo on almost a daily basis, and I look at it for projects for us to highlight either in our newsletter or on the show. Like tonight, we do have an IndieGoGo Project of the Week, and we will be highlighting that a little bit later tonight. It amazes me on both Kickstarter and IndieGoGo, on every crowdfunding platform, how there are projects that look really good. There are some that have some great stars in them. There are some that have great talent that are in them and are just well written and whatever, and that just don't seem to be getting a lot of traction. I guess now would actually be a good time to just mention, if you guys haven't checked out indiegogo.com/nerfed yet and donated to that. It's actually my director Ryan Nishan's web series, and the first episode is going to be coming out next week or soon or whenever I finish your special effects. Okay, so if you haven't donated to that yet, I actually ask that everyone do that because it's actually really good. So
I just want to say, I've posted this on Twitter and Facebook. The first person who donates, I don't care if you donate $1, you will get the T-shirt.
There you go. So basically, almost free T-shirt.
$1 T-shirt.
$1 T-shirt. Although don't give $1, give like $20. Come on, like give the guy a bone. Anyways, we're digressing from the overall, meaning of the movie, the show tonight. So Jerry, some of the other stuff that we were talking about, as far as that is concerned, Or what the hell were we talking about? We talked about a lot of stuff.
We're talking about failure and learning from it. But just to go back to Ryan for a second, maybe his project should fail so he can learn a little bit more. No, I'm kidding.
No. Bad Ryan.
I'll be in Staten Island.
It was actually, there's a lot that I learned from the campaign, and I posted a blog recently called Why, where I asked everyone who gave to the project to let me know why they gave to it, and everyone who didn't to tell me why they didn't give to it.
Yeah, I really didn't want to talk about that tonight. I really didn't want to talk about that tonight. That is probably the worst fucking thing you could have brought up.
Why? I'm going to talk about how, I'm not really going to go into detail on that. I'm going to talk about how I learned from the project.
I would rather talk about other people that you and I know that have projects that they spent $30,000 on that will never see the light of day, and how that's a failure and how you learned from it.
Well, I was going to, this was tying into that because that conversation stemmed from the Y blog.
I know, but the Y blog sucked.
I got my shit together.
You know, what happened is with the Y blog, you got shit on. That's what happened, Cherry, and I don't want to put you through that again. I'm trying to protect you. Do you see how I'm trying to do that? And you're really just fighting me on it. Go ahead. You're going to talk about it anyway. You might as well.
Well, okay. So
okay. Bear in mind, you have literally 3 minutes, and then I'm cutting you off because we have the rest of the show to do.
Okay. Well,
so
with
hurry
the
up.
Y blog, people were letting me know why they gave and why they didn't. I also talked with a lot of people during the campaign to learn why they contributed, and a lot of it was, you know, my passion, or they liked the idea of it. And then I found that a lot of people just didn't understand the project also. The title threw a lot of people off. I've been planning on changing the title since about halfway through the campaign when people were telling me that the title was confusing. I just didn't want to change the title during the middle of the campaign because I thought that would confuse things even more. But I learned a lot of other things, like in my approach, some people said that I wasn't aggressive enough. So I picked up a lot of stuff from that blog. And I was recently talking to another filmmaker that I know, a local Staten Island filmmaker, who was telling me that I focus too much on the negative. I should only worry about positive stuff because you can't learn from negative, you can only learn from positive, which I completely disagree with since, as I said, I learned a lot from the people that said that I didn't contribute to your campaign because of this. And that made me really think back about how I like pitched it. And I'm actually working on changing some aspects of the film based on that feedback. And I really believe that it will help me and it will help make it a better film. So I'm glad I got that negative feedback from those people. But this filmmaker, who I'm not going to name, made a short film that cost him about $30,000.
Oh, I'll name him. He's an asshole. His name's Phil.
Okay, well, I didn't want to name him because he might be watching, but I guess I'm giving enough details that he'll know. Although maybe he wouldn't.
No, it's some other asshole.
First, he found some producers, and he spent $25,000 on the film to make the film and to work to actually produce the film, to go to the editing stage of it. Then he ended up needing more money for the score and for other aspects of it. So all in all, it cost a little over $30,000 to make this short film, which is about 5 minutes long. This short film, he then spent another couple of $1,000s submitting to festivals, and he has yet to play at a festival. He hasn't gotten to any festival. He submitted to like over 50 or something like that, and he just told me he's waiting to hear back from like 4 more festivals, and then after that, that's it. He's shelving the project. So I said to him that he should post it on YouTube so at least the project is out there. If he doesn't want to work on it anymore, he wants to just move on, at least post it on. And he said that posting to the internet is like degrading, and it's not, it wouldn't give him the proper exposure, so he's shelving the project. So this is a $30,000 film that he's just shelving, and I just found that really fascinating, that like, and it was all from producers, it wasn't his money. He found these producers that they gave him the money without expecting to make any profit, they just wanted exposure. So I said to him, you don't really have any exposure since you're not at any festivals. Are your producers pissed off at you? And he was like, no, because it got them to where they wanted to be. They just wanted to be able to say they made a $30,000 short film. So I was like, that just blew me away. But it also seems like he hasn't really learned from that. Because I asked him, what's he going to do with the next film? Is he going to have a different approach to festivals and stuff? And he said, no, I'm going to do it the same way, and hopefully it works out better.
Well, see, Jerry, here's the big problem with people like that and other people who are first-time filmmakers who consider themselves auteurs. Rather than growing into the part, they take that pretentiousness and feeling that they know better than anyone else in the industry, and they try to shove that in everyone else's face, and that's really not part of what we're talking about. But what the point Jerry is trying to make is that this person basically stole $30,000. Not, and that's maybe a harsh term, but for the lack of
I wouldn't say that.
Well, you wouldn't, but I would.
They gave him the $30,000.
I think I can. I understand.
They only wanted exposure.
Right, but that's one side of that story, and I refuse to believe that, because I don't know anyone who would give anyone more than $20 for more than exposure. And that being said, man, the whole point of this discussion and you telling that story, though, is that he failed to realize the potential of his film. He failed to utilize that bird in a hand and actually do something with it. And while you were able to learn from that failure, and other people can also take a lesson from that failure, he failed to learn from the failure. But anyways, that being said, that we're going to wrap up this little segment here, Jerry. The idea is that, guys, that failing in something is not bad. You can learn a lesson. Other people can see your failure, but see the good in that failure and reach out to help you. And other people can also, other people love an underdog story. And you know, failing is not, it's often viewed as negative, but it's something that we all do. And you know, even I forget who the gentleman is specifically, says that you need to put in 10,000 hours into something to be considered an expert at it. In my opinion, every minute leading up to that is basically filled with little failures and minor successes along the way that drive you to keep going. So we're wrapping that up. We have some more to talk about this evening. We have a film that we want to talk about coming up shortly called Microphone. It's our IndieGoGo Project of the Week. And but before that, we're going to show you guys a quick little ad spot for our good friends over at Final Draft. So we'll be right back. Final Draft version 8 is the industry standard for screenwriting software. With ease of use and time-saving features like Final Draft's Scene View, Index Cards, and Scene Properties Inspector, you can see why Final Draft users include Academy Award winners like Oliver Stone, Tom Hanks, J.J. Abrams, and James Cameron. Final Draft is now even more extensible with its new XML-based file format that can be used to import your script into many other programs. Check out Final Draft 8 now for free over at www.finaldraft.com. And we're back, everyone. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed our good friends over at Final Draft. Actually, I want to give them just a quick shout out. They actually just renewed their sponsorship agreement with us. I'm very happy. Also want to show just a little bit of pride. I'm wearing tonight my, if you guys saw the intro to the show, Katrina Hill, Action Flick Chick, twitter.com/actionchick, I think it is. She actually sent us and actually, I won this shirt, but it doesn't really matter. For being a 900th follower or something like that, or 600th follower of someone, they bought me this shirt. But I figured since she did the intro for us tonight, I would wear it on the show. So here you go, Katrina. Here you go. So I feel I got my nerdy bird stuff going on. Although I know that's someone different, but still, I like it. It's very nice. Very tight fitting. I'm really sucking it in tonight. Sucking the guts, guys. We're the Ghostbusters. Get her. I also want to send out a quick shout out to our good buddy Nathan, who actually sent us a poster here for the Waterhole. You really can't see it. It's off camera here. Maybe Ryan or actually, we actually have a studio audience tonight, Dave, who would actually go and maybe let's just look at the poster. I even signed it. I'm very happy about that. Ryan, can we? I know I can see you panning over, but can we actually get it in the shot?
Yes.
There you go. Look at it go. So if you guys have any more swag that you guys, t-shirts, posters, postcards, anything from your movies, even door hangers like Jerry here, if you got anything from your film that you want to see on our set, send it over to us because you know we want to put it up here. I want to have this whole wall filled with your swag that other people will see on a weekly basis. So maybe, I don't know. It just sounds like it makes sense. I want to talk real quick about our First Glance Film says, "Wow, moving camera." Yeah. So. Mojave 44, was it Michelle, I think her name is? We'll have to talk to her later. She actually said, Nick's serious about voiceover for free, deep girl voice for your promos. A deep girl voice.
Kind of like Nick's voice.
Kind of like my voice, yeah. So I may consider that. If I could always send you the scripts that I did for these, and maybe you could do them, or rewrite them, I don't know. Maybe you know better. So, that being said, getting back to the show, I want to talk about our IndieGoGo Project of the Week. Our IndieGoGo Project of the Week is called Microphone. I discovered it while I was kind of trolling around, and it actually had a really good kind of premise that I kind of dug. And the other cool part is that they're like well over halfway to their goal, I think, or about halfway to their goal. And they got plenty of time left, so there's plenty of time for us to all go out there and just give a couple of bucks and get them to where they got to go. The way this movie kind of reminded me of, it reminded me a little bit of Funny People mixed with, oh god, that movie, oh Christ, Matchstick Men, in a way. Not necessarily because of like the crime element or anything like that, but it's basically like a comedian who's meeting up with a daughter he really didn't know he had after a while, and then them kind of bonding and stuff like that. So that's, you know, comedian, Funny People, and Matchstick Men, guy, daughter. I know I'm kind of reaching with that reference because Matchstick Men was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
But that being said, I really thought that it looked like a good thing, and the project itself, it just came to my attention through, it really just kind of is one of those things where I was going on IndieGoGo, I was trolling through projects, and it caught my mind, and it really wasn't that it was being promoted heavily, it really wasn't that whatever, but you have 18 days left to fund it. They've got a $2,500 goal, and they've got $1,525 already raised. So you've got something that's well on the way to being successful, and you guys can help it get there, and you know, they've got a great graphic. I actually really like their graphic. And it's the Wilming sisters that actually are doing this, and Kimberly and Wendy, I think, is the other one. And they seem like nice people. They are on Twitter, and they actually followed me today, or today or yesterday. And I'm sorry if I don't have this information handy, but I'm gonna have to find their Twitter stuff so you can follow them. I believe, well, actually, you can follow them on Twitter. From their movie on Twitter. And this is horribly unprepared, and I apologize. They are on twitter.com/microphonefilm, and you can actually go to www.microphonethefilm.com to check out their website, and they're on Facebook as well, and it's facebook.com/microphone. I don't know if it needs to be in all caps or whatever it is on their thing, so there's that. And to answer First Glance Film, because I'm lazy, no. Not yet. I plan on doing it this week. I've just been very busy. But I am, as far as I know, go for October, aside from that. If anyone else would like to talk to anything, and if obviously to open up a project, start your own project or whatever, go over to www.indiegogo.com because they've got some cool stuff. And if you're successful in your project, you know that they've got like cool stuff going on with that, and Fractured Atlas, and hell, I'm offering free consulting time on successful projects. Hello, that's a good fucking deal. You should definitely do that because I'm not cheap. Actually, I am, comparatively speaking. In the pants too. That made no sense. Anyways, I can't remember where the hell else we have for the rest of this show.
Media Halo.
Media Halo.
That's it.
That's it?
That's the done. That's the end.
Wow, we made good time tonight, kind of, but not really. Our good friends at Media Halo. I want to say shout out to Darren Levine from Media Halo. He has another, you might have remembered his video last week talking about aperture. We have kind of an extension of that video tonight. He's going to be talking about other lighting techniques that kind of reference back to aperture and stuff like that. But rather than let me explain it, I'm just going to let him take it away. So Ryan, roll the clip of our good friend Darren Levine at Media Halo.
At the end of the what do I do? Okay.
Do it, and then we come back and I say thank you and good night to everyone.
Okay.
Hi, Darren Levine with Media Halo Quick Tips, and this is a quick tip about how to reduce the light coming into your camera in a highlight situation. First thing you can go for is your aperture control. If you look at this photo lens here, you can see this wide aperture is letting light basically all the way through the lens. But if you close that down, the diaphragm or the iris closes to let in less light. Works beautifully, but there is one consideration you got to keep in mind. Controlling the aperture will control your depth of field. If you close down the aperture, a very high number, f16 or whatnot, it's going to flatten your image. Now, usually if you're shooting something cinematic, you want a very selective focus, shallow depth of field. You know, I'm in focus, but the background's all blurred out. So you got to keep that in mind. You have other options. You also have your shutter speed. Now, the shutter speed, if you watch this, we've got a 1/30, and just waving your hand in front, it's a good amount of blur. Then, say you got that shot, you're doing that shot, but you want to cut down the light coming into the camera. It's bright outside, so you cut down to, say, 1/100. Now you can see the blur is entirely different. I'm not blurring my hand nearly as much. So the point being with that is that the shutter speed highly controls the blur of the image. It's a control of the image, not of the light. It does affect the light a lot, but you really want to keep that control just for your image. Set the image how you want it. If you need to control the light in a last-ditch situation, adjust the shutter a little bit, but don't think of it as a control of light. It's a control of image. Now, the best way, and pretty much the only way you can adjust the light coming into your camera, rather cut it down, is an ND filter. It's neutral density. Neutral because it does not affect the color, does not affect the motion blur, does not affect the depth of field. It just literally cuts down the light entering the camera. Most cameras even have built-in ones. Other ones come in these screw-type filters here. And you also have professional ones, which are square. They're virtually identical to the circular screw-on ones, but they come in matte box friendly, square type. And that's the only way you can really adjust the light coming into the camera that exists on the camera. Now, the ways you can adjust the light externally is using different devices like silks. Put these up to the sun, blocks light hitting your actor or actress. Or if you're indoors, cut down your wattage, use diffusion, use gels, use anything you like to adjust your image and to cut it down. And those are the ways you can cut down light coming into your camera in a highlight situation. This has been Darren Levine with Media Halo, bringing you another quick tip.
Am I back yet? And we're back, everyone, and kind of saying that for the last time tonight. I want to thank everyone for showing up tonight. I want to thank specifically my co-host that, yes, I beat up on him, but I stick with him. I don't know why. Jerry Cavallero. I want to thank Mojave44, First Glance Film. I want to thank our guests tonight. I want to thank Mr. Tze Chun and Minette Louie, of course, for introducing us and getting everything rolling on that. And I want to thank the vocabularist Marinelle for showing up. Better late than never, Marinelle. G-Man Reviews, Andrew, thank you. I appreciate that. Jake Stetler, Gary King for showing up tonight, bringing the thunder. Coco and the Lady F. A couple new people tonight. I'm really happy about that.
That's interesting.
I want to thank everyone who did any type of retweeting or promotion for us for the show tonight. I want to actually give a big plug for next week's show. I'm really excited for next week's show. We have Kevin Sorbo.
Fucking Hercules!
Hercules! We have him on the show. It's going to be awesome. So we're going to talk about, I'm sure Hercules will come up. You know what, actually, I didn't even think to ask him until I was like in the shower like 3 days ago or something like that. And I was like,
hold on, why were you thinking of Kevin Sorbo in the shower?
Why weren't you?
Because my mind is on the job 24/7, sir.
Gay.
Yeah, kind of. That being said, that's not fucking offensive at all. But that being said, no, you know what? A question I would have probably passed over had I not thought about it, though, was how is it like working basically for or with Sam Raimi and Rob Tapert? Because Hercules and Xena and all them, they were produced by Sam and Rob.
And Ted was
Ted Raimi. Hello, yeah.
He was, the dumbass fucking guy.
I can't remember his name.
What's his name? Like he had the trash can armor.
Yeah, but he was more Xena than Hercules.
Yeah, but still, in general,
fair enough.
Showed up.
Bruce Campbell was in
the Cam.
What was that? What we're calling him? They call him Bruce.
I've heard that. His name is Bruce.
So that's a different movie. That's actually a blaxploitation movie from like back in the day. Actually, no, it's like a Chinese blaxploitation. It doesn't matter. It's like a grindhouse flick. Anyway, that being said, yeah, stay tuned next week, Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, over here at live.filmsnobbery.com. We're gonna have Kevin Sorbo on next week. The week after that, we've got another great guest lined up for you. I'm not gonna tease that one out there yet, though. But I want to remind everyone for September, we're switching nights. We have to. We're switching nights. Same bat time, same bat channel, but we're switching from Tuesdays to Thursdays. I'm getting that out there now. I'm going to start promoting that heavily. Marinelle, you're going to have to change our graphic on our Twitter page. Just preparing you. But yeah, we're going to change our days to Thursdays. I have no choice in the matter at this point, sorry. But that being said, we have a lot of great opportunities coming up. I have a lot of opportunities for filmmakers coming up, both free and cheap. If you want to get involved in the free stuff, you got to get in contact with me because, what do they say, supplies are limited, as they say. So that being said, before we go, I promised I was going to give out this this DVD of Stuck Like Chuck, 2-disc chucked up edition, and I'm even going to throw in a Please Do Not Disturb Jack Off Sock door hanger. So since it's not my movie, it's Jerry's movie, I'm going to let Jerry actually give away the disc. I don't think it needs to be a contest. I don't think anything. I think it really just needs to be, Jerry, who do you want this to go to?
Well, thanks for pinning that on me.
And aren't you glad we talked about it beforehand?
Yeah, I know. I like how you just like brought it up in the middle of it. I was like, oh yeah, I gave you a bunch of copies to give away and you never did.
I have literally I have one left after this. I have a couple of door hangers, but I only have one movie left after this.
What happened to the 4 I sent you?
We gave away a couple others. I only have 2. Wow, we gave away one.
Gave any away?
We gave away. No, we did. We gave away 1. We have 2. Oh no, I didn't give away 1. I gave 1 to Ryan.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. He had one. I sent him one.
Well, whatever then. I don't know. We had one, but one of them you sent me.
We should discuss this offline.
It doesn't matter. Jerry, give away the fucking movie.
I'm just waiting to see I'm waiting to see if anyone in the chat says give it to me, which surprisingly no one did. That should show you how hot this item is.
Well, vocabulary says, doesn't everyone here have one?
If you don't have a copy, who wants it?
Who wants it? Who wants a copy of Stuck Like Chuck? Signed.
Vocabulary says, oh, thanks.
Signed by... Jake Stetler gets it.
Hold on.
Okay.
Nicholas?
Yes, hi.
Can I come over there for a moment?
No.
So Jake Stetler...
I will never blink.
I need to say something.
Vocabulary wants to give his back.
That scares me.
It's something good.
You're off book.
Who wants vocabulary? Who
All right,
wants his copy?
I don't know. Ryan, vocabulary, can I give mine back? No, vocabulary, you can't. It is now DNA ingrained. Yes, you can come over.
What?
Ryan, you can come over.
I don't, you know what? I don't even need to. I just want to
You put me through all that for that.
Fuck you.
Okay.
I want to thank the very first contributor to Nerfed.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Mr. Jerry Cavallero. $10. Jerry, you will get a free Nerf t-shirt.
Eventually.
Someday.
Awesome.
About the same time frame I got my Stuck Like Chuck DVD.
For Stuck Like Chuck too.
Nice.
Someday.
Well, Jake Stetler, I want to I'm going to give away this copy of Stuck Like Chuck to Jake Stetler because he said he wanted it, and he's getting that. Jake, email me, nick@filmsnobbery.com. That's NIC@filmsnobbery.com to give me your address and all that kind of crap, and I will send you a movie. Oh, and if I owe someone movie tickets, I will get... Oh, that's on Twitter. That's right, our 6,000th Twitter follower. I've got movie tickets for people. That being said, I've got movie tickets that I will be giving away for courtesy of Landmark Theaters. So you guys need to stick around. We've gone on way too long, and stay tuned next week. Kevin Sorbo, thank you everyone for coming tonight. FilmSnobbery Live. Nerf.
Good night.
Stuck Like Chuck.
Nerf.
No, we're done with that.
Nerf.
It's all about... We're done with Stuck Like Chuck now.